What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I usually don't talk about people. I mean, I know I got on Tim Dog and others for flippity flopping. But today I want to talk about, well, ponies and donkey unicorns in general, but one in particular, Porter Rock. Only because he popped up on Twitter and he's a pony. He has some smarts. He's not an idiot. So I get what he was doing. I get what he was trying to do. And in a way, he's kind of right, but not really. He's only right in that he's doing it to have a point against Microsoft and to translate and conjugate the L that PlayStation is getting daily now, as of recent days, to a W, which is not working. So the whole kind of not premise but impetus of this was the Stella Blade Metacritic score. Now, for some reason, they're doing Starfield versus Stella Blade. I guess it's the S or whatever. The S is in the title of the. Who knows? But the point is that Stella Blade, as of the time of this recording, is at an 82 Metacritic, and as we all know, Starfield was at an 83 when it all said and done. And if we recall correctly, the ponies and the donkey unicorns were talking about, oh my gosh, 83, that's hot trash garbage. Oh my gosh, that's blah, 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 right? That's what they said. So 82 is worse than hot trash garbage, obviously. But here's the thing. Here's what Porter Rock said. Porter Rock said that the difference is that Starfield was hyped all to the heavens, that it was the game of the generation and blah, 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 right? And when it gets to 83, oh, it's disappointing. It's this, that, and the third, right? And I guess to his point, Stella Blade wasn't really hyped, or it was hyped, but not as hyped. So it's okay to get an 82. It's a better game because it wasn't as hyped. Does that make sense? Of course it doesn't. Because hype is based off of opinions, subjective opinions, not fact. Fact is subjective. Well, fact is not subjective, but people's truths are subjective. And so he's basically making this point about the hype when, look, Public Enemy said it 29 million years ago, don't believe the hype. Why did they say that? Because the hype is for fools. If you believe the hype, especially on the internet, you're an idiot. So him using that as a premise, as an argument against Starfield getting a higher score than Stella Blade, that's a fool's errand. And so in this instance, Porter Rock is a fool. I'm not saying he's a fool in general. I'm just saying right now, trying to argue that, he's a fool. And him, like, people were kind of like going back and forth with him. He was calling everybody dumb and stuff. And I'm like, you can't argue something that is subjective because it'll never get resolved, okay? And that hype stuff, like, oh, people hyping it up. Why are you hyping it up? You didn't even play the game. Why are you hyping it up? It's a Bethesda game. It'll be great. It'll be good to great. Will it be the best Bethesda game ever? That's subjective. So why, I'm like, oh man. These donkey unicorns and these ponies will try anything to catch a W. Even to make themselves look like I can't even speak English. Even making themselves look like a fool, throwing themselves in front of the train. I'm a fan of the PlayStation. Splat. Man, when I read that, I was like, come on, man. You're not that dumb. But he's doing it for engagement because, that's his following. His following is a bunch of donkey unicorns and ponies, so he has to submit to the whims of his following. Or lose following, catch L's in his social media stuff, needs to feed his machine, which is, just a bucket with, some grains and granola in it, because donkeys, unicorns, you get it? It's an equine joke, words. Anyway, yeah, that was not a good look, and I would say subjectively that Starfield is, if you wanted, you could kind of split it up into different ways. Like, okay, how many hours are you going to spend in this game? Starfield versus Stella Blade. Starfield wins. Hands down, it wins. Why? Because of the actual way the game is, the structure of the game, and the structure of the New Game Plus. It's like, look, when Greg Miller, a super pony, is sitting there playing New Game Plus 16 times plus, I'm like, yo, there's something's crazy, right? So, yeah, Stella Blade's just a one and done. You know, maybe they'll have a New Game Plus, but honestly, in them one and dones, the New Game Pluses don't really amount to too much because it's action, unless you play as a different character or something, maybe. And there's like, what, I know there's 3 different good guy protagonists. The Stella Blade, was her name, Eve, and then the other chick with short hair that looks better than he. Everybody says it. She got the same jiggle physics, so that's not even a question. And then the dude, homeboy. Those are the only characters I know in that game. So, but anyway, they could put more characters in, and they could do New Game Plus with this character in New Game Plus and have like a slightly different weapon set or move set or something, maybe, or not. There's ways to finesse it, but you know, I don't know. Who knows? But does it deserve an 82? I guess. I don't know. Is it better than Starfield? According to Metacritic, no, it's not, and it's not done yet. Also, tangent, you know, getting away from Stella Cheeks, Stinky Cheeks, whatever you want to call it. The Hellblade, wow. The Helldiver 2 numbers. So I read it today that their engagement numbers or player numbers have dropped 80% since the game launched. The game launched, was it 2 months ago, something like that? 80%. And it wasn't even, it's like, oh yeah, they had 400 something thousand, 480, maybe close to 500,000 peak concurrent game, and now 80%. That's a lot of drop off. And if this is a success, a quote unquote success for Sony, they're in trouble. See, the thing about games as services, or multiplayer games in particular, that Sony doesn't quite understand yet, is that you have to keep feeding that beast. You can't just be like, boom, pretend it's like a one and done and just like, you know, forget about it, which is what Sony does. They forget about their games. They cancel them, they close out servers. They do all these things, right? You got to keep feeding that beast. You got to keep putting money into it to keep players engaged. And obviously they're not doing that. They're not doing enough to keep people going back to Helldivers 2. So it drops off 80%. Now, I know there's always a drop off of these games, regardless. But 80%? Like I said, if this is an indication of their success, they're in trouble. And if you look at that compared to Xbox games as a whole in general, their games like Grounded, people still playing it. Gonna be more people playing it. Sea of Thieves, same thing. You know, Halo, still people are playing it. Probably more than Helldivers 2 will be in the same amount of time when it launched. You know, 4 years from now, people gonna be playing Helldivers 2? I doubt it, because Sony doesn't feed their games that long. They don't keep life into their games that long. They let them die. They let them die in the vine. They starve them. Yeah, my English is broken today. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's hilarious. And notice, go on Twitter and look. And you know that I don't see no donkey unicorns. I don't see no ponies out there bragging about Helldiver 2 numbers. They're not bragging about Stella Cheeks Metacritic score, are they? No. You got Puerto Rico over here trying to make up an argument about hype. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Donkey Unicorns, you caught another L. Y'all catching a lot of L's this generation, and all y'all talking about is console sales. Well, good luck with that, because Hiroki Totoki ain't seeing that. He's like, yeah, that's not. We need money. We need to sell some console. We need something else. But anyway, I keep it short again. Appreciate you hanging out, and like and subscribe. Ooh, let me know. Sorry, wow, I'm so tired talking about 2 is so boring. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Helldivers 2 80% drop off and the Porter Rock talking about freaking hype, trying to drum up some type of point, some type of W on hype, when literally Stella Blade got a lower score. It's a worse game according to Metacritic. Not as good as Starfield. Period. You know, you want to talk about Starfield, you want to talk about all these games and the Metacritic and use that as your gospel, as your Bible, as your gauge and metric as far as success and how good a game is. Starfield's better than Stella Blade. Period. That's it and that's all. But anyway, I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you on the next one. Tiltowait.